Started.
Humpback. Okay, humpback plays c4, the English opening. Okay, let's try this kind of flexible setup with f6. Okay, transposes into a queen's pawn opening. And now we have a Nimzo-Indian. So he defends with the bishop. That's not the most common way of defending, but I don't know of anything that's wrong with it. He hasn't defended the d pawn, so maybe playing c5 puts the question to the d pawn, I guess. Okay, so he decides to defend. So now it's like a Rubinstein. Or he's developed the bishop early. So I can exchange. I probably should. What the exchange does, it eliminates one of his center pawns, for one thing. And it also gives the bishop a path back if I decide not to trade it, which I might very well do now that he's not playing e4. I don't really need this bishop here to put pressure on the knight. So what here? Well, he can develop his queen, maybe. Queen b3, hitting the bishop. And indirectly hitting here. Yeah, just developing the knight. Probably the most sensible thing to do, and I will do likewise. I can also consider d5. So he's got his pieces poised here. He could still play bishop to g5 there for an annoying pin. I'm wondering if I should just play... Yeah, it's probably silly. I mean, I was thinking of the idea. I can get this move in ahead of time, right? I could play knight to e7 to g6, but it's kind of a extended maneuver, and he's been developing directly, so it's probably not the right thing to do. So I was planning to take back with the knight, but is that a mistake, maybe? Knight takes, knight takes. Now my bishop is defended by my knight. Yeah, I'm gonna... So I can take back with the queen and leave him with an isolated pawn. Knight takes, queen takes. Ooh, that's exciting. Is this really a setup for the... you always have to watch out for these. In the queen's pawn openings, this is the Greek gift sacrifice. So after I take, knight here, check. And I go back and then queen to h5, right? Threatening checkmate. If I come forward with the king, say after knight g5 check, king g6, the queen can go to g4. That's usually a pretty good square. My knight is right here, though, ready to hop in. I don't believe this is a correct sacrifice at this point. I could be wrong. Check. We'll find out. So a lot of times when the sacrifice is not correct, this king to g3 is the way to refute it, because it doesn't let the queen come into h5 and get this easy mating attack on the h-file. And I have my pieces. My bishop is blocked out.
Check.
So this diagonal is defensible with this move, the f5 move, to block that diagonal. He can still take the knight. My bishop is still defended. He can defend his knight with a pawn. I think so. I think I should start taking some material off here. That'll make my defensive task easier. I took with the pawn. Okay, so I'm coming in here with the bishop.
Check.
And he's just giving it away, isn't he? I guess I have to be careful where I go. That's the problem. Yeah. So if I go to h6, then he's got knight here, check, which it's a discovered attack on the king, and it also hits the queen. And if I go to f6, which is the only other choice, the other squares are all covered, then he's got this check here, which at least wins the exchange.
Check.
So I guess I underestimated his attack a bit. We'll see. Count the material after all the dust settles and see. Take a look at it in the postmortem too. Always interesting to see when these attacks work and when they don't. Okay, so how should I take? With the queen, the bishop, or the king? Maybe bring the queen over. Keep the bishop and the king in place. The king is thinking of walking out to e8, perhaps. So yeah, let's count the material. He's got a queen, 2 rooks, and a bishop, and I have a queen, 1 rook, and 3 pieces. So I have basically 2 pieces for a rook. The pawns are, he's got 1 pawn. So he's got a rook and a pawn for 2 pieces. So materially, actually a slight edge for black, but my king position is all disturbed. Yeah, and he can continue to undermine it with moves like that move. And my pieces are not yet developed. This knight here is not looking that great, and the bishop is in the way. So is there a way to speed up my development somehow? And I think I have to go bishop d7 and rook to c8. Then maybe knight takes knight takes d4 as a threat. The bishop is defending along this diagonal, so pawn takes, still holds on to the light squared diagonal here. And queen here, check. Yeah, maybe this picks up another pawn actually.
Check.
Yep. So let's think. I can block with the bishop, and then he takes, and my knight is not defended, which is a bit unfortunate. But my rook is defended. So I block with the bishop, he takes the pawn, and then I can move the knight. I think I like that, getting these pieces around my king, protecting the key squares. Let him have the pawn, and where can the knight go? Somewhere good, I hope. It can go here, hitting his queen, with the idea of going to the c5 square.
Server announcement.
Okay, got there. There was a danger of him getting his bishop onto some diagonal that attacks my bishop, which was pinned. Now he's unpinned my bishop. So he probably had a better way to proceed. He's going after this bishop. I see, that's his idea. So what's a good plan here? I can take, he takes with check though. That's annoying. Yeah, that was a good move. Hits my bishop and undefends my knight. I don't have any checks here, do I? So I better move this knight with tempo. I'm going to lose a piece, but it looked like everything I did
Check.
Lost a piece anyway. So should I go to the light squares here? I mean, dark squares. I could place my king up, or I could take the pawn. See, if I play my king forward, I think I like that a little better. I'm going to leave the pawn here. It's kind of a bit of a shield for my king. Okay, so now I get a check. His queen is his only piece that's playing. Let's check with the rook, I guess, because he could block with the queen. And let's try and activate the rook. He's got just rook to Yeah, rook to there is probably sufficient place here. At least I round up that pawn. Yeah, and his king has gone to a light squared diagonal. Need to get my queen into the game. Maybe queen here to here. So queen, he's attacking my rook. What's he attacking? Is he threatening to come over here with check? Possibly. A check from here, I can step my king back. So what I was thinking is, yeah, how do I get to his king? That's the question. Put my queen on the light squares so I can come in on some diagonal, but his queen is guarding all these entry points, huh? Pretty good play so far from white. We'll see what he does. So queen here check, I drop the king back. Rook forward, or here, I may have to take it. I also have the idea of rook to c6. That may be an option at some point. Also queen to
check.
Here check. Yeah, I just dropped back. That was my plan. And he's still covering a lot of these light squares. But, well, I'm beginning to see glimmers of an idea. Maybe bishop to f6, looking at the c3 pawn, and rook to c6, ganging up that way. Now he's pinning the rook. Okay, I have time for a check. I mean, not time, but I can play a check here. But I need to unpin the rook because he's just going to play rook to e1 there and win that rook if I'm not careful. But check, king moves, and then I play king up.
Check.
Well, we'll see where the king goes. Maybe there's something. Maybe something will turn up. There's a check here, which would force a trade of queens, leave me in a bad endgame. 3 pawns against 4, and a bishop against a rook. Not so great. That's interesting.
Check.
He didn't move the king, but he kept the pin. So I'm unpinning my rook to threaten rook to rook to b6 there. Let's see, I could grab both rooks right now. Queen takes rook, rook takes rook, and then it's just a queen against a rook and bishop, and he has an extra pawn. It's probably not a great endgame. But if I move my queen, unless I can find a way to move it with check, if I move my queen, that's not so great either. Let's see, bishop here, check, does that do anything? Or rook here, hitting his queen. He takes my rook, I take his queen with check. I mean, rook here, he takes the queen, I take the queen with check, takes back, I take the rook, and it's still just a rook against a bishop. Queen here, rook takes, yeah, that wins the rook. So I guess I have to take. And now, if he has some quick check here that wins my loose rook, I'm in big trouble. He went there.
Check.
Okay, if I take this pawn, then he's got a check here that wins the rook. So that's what you have to watch out for with these queens. With these queens on the board, it's pretty annoying. So let's stop that idea. Okay, let's move the pawn to where it's defended.
Check.
There's rook to rook to d6 check. That's a threat here. Yeah, so he didn't fall for that. Rook d6 check anyway is possible.
Check.
Maybe gives me a little space here. I want to try and get my bishop up to the f6 square. He can check me from... okay, didn't do that. He could have checked me from e3. Now I'm threatening rook to c6 check, coordinating the rook and the bishop on the c3 pawn. So he covers c6. So let's see, where's the queen? The queen could come here with check, but I've got that covered. Maybe I just need to move my king forward. Kind of want to advance this pawn, but
check.
Yeah, is he hitting anything here? He's defending his pawn. He's got, that's the problem, he's got queen to e3 check after this. So I go here. I go to f4. He goes queen e3 check. I go to g4. It's the only square. And he goes here, check. And I take his pawn. Maybe it's safe. I don't know. Check here. Is there some check? Oh, there's a check that wins my rook. That's the problem. Oops. Yeah, got to calculate these things ahead of time before you make the move. Oh, well. No, he didn't play that. Oh, he played the pin. That's interesting. So I can unpin, at least, and defend my rook. So he has to move his queen again because his check will win the queen. So now there's this check.
Check.
That at least wins a pawn. He gets a pawn too. Oh no, my bishop is still holding that one. Interesting. Now I've got a check here. Yeah, look at my time, 15 seconds. So I should speed
check.
up. He finally found a way to win my rook. Okay, I resign here. I was going to lose on time anyway.
Black resigns.
So my winning streak comes to an end. I will upload this one and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.